Alright everyone, and welcome back once again, looking back at the year 2023, and now we're moving on to video games. Yes, the top 10 video games of 2023 that I think are the best. Once again, people, this is just my opinion, but I think most of you can agree on this list. These were some great games, so here we go. Number 10, Avatar, The Frontiers of Pandora. Okay, after hearing mixed, mostly positive reactions on this one, I was a little conditioned to write this one off, and I was hesitant on playing it at first. But being I'm a fan of the movies, no, this is not directly based off of the movies. It's more or less exists in the same universe. It goes more the Arkham style, for the Batman series like this does for Avatar. It's its own thing, really, if you really think about it. And, okay, yes, it has a learning curve. Yes, it's only in first person. Unfortunately, there's no third person option, at least none that I can find. But, wow, I got hooked on this one right from the start. Yes, it's a little more dictative of what you have to start out as, objective-wise, but once you go into the open world of Pandora, it is gorgeous. Yes, again, there's a bit of a learning curve with trying to, make the weapons, use the weapons, getting food and energy and everything like that, but, man, it just got me so invested into the world of Avatar, I couldn't stop playing. It was just phenomenal, glorious, and gorgeous. So if you're hesitant on playing this one, take it from me, it's worth at least to play if you're a fan of the movies especially. If you think the movies look great, believe me, this one is just a real enjoyable ride. Yeah, that's right, people. You're not in Kansas anymore when playing this one. You're on Pandora. Number 9. Sonic Superstars. Yes, the good old Sega mascot himself, Sonic the Hedgehog, is back alongside his companions, Tails, Knuckles, and a bunch of others in this side-scrolling loop-de-loop ring-collecting adventure, taking out enemies in a familiar but yet fresh take on the old franchise, bringing in some new elements, which I think plays and looks fantastic, adding a lot of cool aspects which definitely give the game a lot more replayability and make it very fascinating for fans of the franchise like myself. And the special stages, again, are a little too familiar, but then there's others that I think are a nice new addition. But all the background effects that you come across, it almost reminds me of Donkey Kong Country Returns, as well as its sequel, Tropical Freeze. Yeah, 2.5D, that's the way to go there, Sega. You got some cool, lengthy boss fights, which may seem a little too lengthy, but hey, that gives it all the fun and reason to play these games, am I right? So I could safely say, compared to some of the past Sonic games, which I know have been hit and miss, I think Sega got back on track with this one, giving up some fantastic music, colors, and level designs, which look and thankfully play great, most importantly. Playability is the key word right here, am I right? It's not glitchy, it's not broken. It's a Sonic game that you should definitely check out. Number 8, Pikmin 4. Okay, obviously a Nintendo Switch exclusive because it's a Nintendo franchise, and I can safely say, yeah, despite rather simple gameplay mechanics and everything like that, but the mechanics are all the same if you remember from the previous games. But being that it's a fourth one, of course it improves over and adds new stuff in, giving us a new adventure on the alien world with those little cute guys. Yeah, I know they're a little cutesy and everything like that, and a little bit strange, but come on, they're so much fun. And I'm glad Nintendo continued this franchise and give us one that, okay, $60 is kind of a lot for a rather simple game, but it was everything I hoped for out of this one. So, if you love the past three, definitely give this one a shot. Guess you could say it's almost out of this world. Number 7, Mortal Kombat 1. Yeah, that's right, people. You already know that Mortal Kombat, after making 11 entries, including several spin-offs that came and went, and some of them were good, some of them not so good, they decided, yep, we're just going to completely reboot the franchise. And I went along with it. And I can safely say, after seeing the trailer, which just got me drooling at the mouth, this game was pretty damn good. Okay, it's not great like Mortal Kombat 2011 or Mortal Kombat X, but you got most of the main characters back, including a bunch of new ones, which are good. And okay, the DLC is questionable and criticizable, but once you get over that, the graphics and everything, the presentation just looks fantastic. I mean, you got the main arcade mode, you got the towers, you got all the different types like survival and different size ones. Want to play a Scorpion, Sub-Zero, some of the robot characters? You got it. Blood? Got it. Fatalities? Okay, yes, there's one thing you can criticize. It has, once again, the rank up system with grinding, which it's not as bad as Mortal Kombat 11, at least every time you rank each character up, which may seem a little tedious. It does unlock a thing that they can do, whether it's a brutality, a fatality, which, yeah, the second fatality you can't do until you unlock them and get them up to rank 14, which, again, seems a little tedious. And the online mode is a little bit laggy, not much of a difference compared to the past entries in this series, but the blood and the graphics and everything just look fantastic. Yes, I wish it had stage fatalities in there, but the background effects, and again, it's back to 2D with some amazing looking 3D graphics, and you got the story mode, which isn't much out of the ordinary. You know, you watch cutscenes, which you can skip on most part, and you fight characters. Watch cutscenes and fight characters until you beat it all the way through to unlock, of course, one character. And you can unlock in different costumes and everything like that. And of course you have, unfortunately, are forced to do is do the tag team type of gameplay and all the stuff you can unlock. It just gives it all the replay value that you'd expect out of this kind of game. And even the so-called map adventure mode, which, okay, isn't really an adventure. It's more or less just fighting and doing all sorts of gimmicky things, which does bear a lot of similarity to the Smash Brothers game on Switch. But overall, I enjoyed this one. I will say it's somewhat better than Mortal Kombat 11, but still not as good as Mortal Kombat 9 or Mortal Kombat X. And if you want my opinion, obviously you know right off the bat to go for the PlayStation or Xbox versions. Avoid the Switch version by all costs. I don't think I have to really explain all the criticism and rants that version got, which I'm not really surprised. But overall, a definitely worthy sequel reboot, and I'm hoping for more out of future entries, especially considering Midway is not involved with this one. Number 6, Hogwarts Legacy. Yes, one that I anticipated for 2023, and I'm sorry I didn't really mention much of it. I'm not a die-hard Harry Potter fan, so I didn't really know what to expect out of this one. I had to really get used to all the gameplay mechanics and everything, which are good. And might I add, like Mortal Kombat 1, avoid the Switch port. I know it took longer to release compared to the PlayStation 5, Xbox, and PS4 versions. It was not worth the wait, and I can understand all the rants and criticisms it got. So, yes, I'm not surprised being that the graphics are most likely compromised. PlayStation 5 just masters the graphics as expected, and they look amazing. I've been to the Wizarding Worlds at Universal Studios theme park, so I can definitely relate to this kind of gameplay and environments and everything, and once I got used to it, yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was. It was magical, the character customizations, all the potions, and all the different things you have to learn. Yeah, as I said, I'm not a die-hard Potter fan, so I had to really get myself into this franchise and everything like that. But once I did, and familiarized myself with all the mechanics and all the different things from the movies, yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was. There's a lot to do, lots of side quests, lots of main quests, of course. And like, of course, the Avatar game that I included on this list, it's also not directly movie-based, so it's kind of its own thing, more or less. But it's really for fans of Harry Potter, and if you are a die-hard fan, this is one you could not skip out on. I'm glad this one finally got released after at least a few years of delays, and I think the wait was worth it. But like I said, get it on the PlayStation or Xbox consoles. Avoid the Switch port by all costs. It's just missing the magic on there. Number 5, Cocoon. Yeah, another one that I anticipated for 2023, and I'm glad it released. This is an indie game, and I heard it was ranked amongst one of the best ones, and I couldn't agree more. It is fantastic, and if you're not familiar with it, it's a puzzle game, lots of environments and problem solving to figure out to get through a lot of different things, and it's strange looking, but come on. These kind of games like Legend of Zelda or Metroid or any of these type of problem solvers where you have to use your mind, they're just as enjoyable as hell. Yeah, it can be a little tedious and somewhat frustrating figuring out and a lot of backtracking and everything like that. But man, I got hooked and I had to beat it all the way through. Sure, the load screen at the beginning's a little lengthy, but come on. That doesn't take away the fun of this one. And I think, in my opinion, it's the best indie game of 2023. I mean, it's made by the same developers who did, in my opinion, the best indie game of 2022, Stray. So, that right there is another win for this company, and I couldn't agree more with the Gaming Awards, giving this one the title for Best Debut Indie Game of 2023. And for 20 to 25 bucks, you can't go wrong at all. It was well worth it, especially on the Nintendo Switch. Number 4, Street Fighter 6. Yes, this is yet another one that I anticipated for 2023, and thankfully compared to Street Fighter V, which had good presentation and graphics and background effects and everything, but we can all agree was a bit of a letdown, feeling a little unfinished. But thankfully this one, Capcom got their act together and improved over it big time. I mean, they nailed the shit out of this one. They gave it the Hadouken that it really needed, with a lot of the familiar characters, as well as some new ones. I mean, it wasn't about the character roster this time. This time it was about the gameplay, giving it plenty of replayability with, of course, its main arcade mode, with all the things that you remember, like smashing up cars and the other bonus stages. But the big one that they added in is the World Tour, where you can create a customized character, go through in a basic adventure mode through a metropolitan city. Yeah, the characters were a little generic looking and everything, but hey, who doesn't want to talk to characters and want to beat the shit out of them to make your way through this? It's Street Fighter 6, and this is the one that you should get, even if you were disappointed with number 5. All I could say is, way to go Capcom, you done great this time. Number 3, Mario Brothers Wonder. Yeah, this was definitely an unexpected addition to the Mario Brothers franchise. And after seeing the Nintendo Direct of 2023 that first introduced this one, I thought to myself, yeah, another side-scrolling Mario Brothers game with 3D graphics. Don't get me wrong, these are always fun. It's become tiresome. But with this one, they took it to a whole new level. I mean, it's almost looked like an acid trip judging by the trailer, and that's what the game feels like. It's definitely a trippy one. You got new costumes like the elephant, and all sorts of different things that you will see along the way, and lots of surprises and twists and turns that the game takes on you. I mean, pipes that move. Yeah, you got the one-player mode, which you can actually choose your character. Yeah, even Princess Peach. She's not kidnapped this time around. This time it's about rescuing these seeds. Yeah, it doesn't seem like an interesting concept, but trust me, it's not anything like the past 2D Mario games. It's a lot more to it. Yeah, it's all about collecting these, which some of the levels have 1 or 2 of them, and you go into this sort of warped world to collect another one, and you have to gather a certain amount of them to unlock different parts of each level in each world. And it can become a bit of a maze, and some parts can get challenging, and some parts can get frustrating, and some levels can get freaking straight up crazy with the jumps and everything like that, and even side jumping off of blocks. You got the music, you got just about anything that talks to you. So again, it seems like a trippy ride, but god damn, it was so addicting and I had to play it all the way through until I beat it. The boss fights, okay, they're a little simple. The ending boss fight though is pretty damn challenging. Yeah, that last level itself was challenging. So whether or not you play one player like I did all the way through, and I'm sure 2 or even up to 4 player mode can be fun, and I'm sure it's not much different than the past Mario Brothers 2D side-scrolling games where you can't take it seriously. You more or less gotta have fun with it and have a sense of humor. But all I could say is, Nintendo, this is definitely one of your best that came out this year. It was definitely an unexpected surprise that I didn't think was going to be that great. And being that, of course, you came out the same exact day as another hit game that's great this year, spoiler alert, you outdone yourself once again. Number 2, Spider-Man 2. Yeah, another one that I anticipated and had to wait an additional year for after delays, But thankfully, the delays paid off because I knew this one was going to go get them, Tiger. Yeah, that's right. You have not one, but two Spider-Man, which, of course, if you play the, I guess, in-between sequel, Miles Morales, this time around they're teaming up. Him and Peter Parker, two Spider-Mans teaming up to take down new villains that most of you are probably familiar with if you read comics or seen the movie. You got Sandman, you got Venom, you got Kraven the Hunter, who has still yet to get his movie released, even after the delays due to the writer's strike. You got plenty of side quests. All the stuff that you're familiar with in the past games, plus some new stuff. A whole huge city to take down bad guys and crimes and everything like that. Miles Morales, of course, has his electric thing. Peter Parker, of course, well, has his typical gadgets and everything, all the different upgrades for their spider suits and everything like that. You got the story mode, and you got some slow parts where you have to navigate your way through, even playing as Mary Jane Watson. But that's not a bad thing. It gives the game plenty of variety, like the past games did as well. But that doesn't matter. You want to play as Spider-Man, you want to swing through the city, no matter which one you're playing as. And the newest thing, of course, they added is the gliders. Yes, both Spider-Mans have the glider suits. And man, it's just incredible. Yeah, you probably remember seeing it in the newer Spider-Man movies, you know, the one with Tom Holland. So all I could say is they gave Spider-Man the necessary upgrade in the necessary sequel. And after seeing the post-credit scene after beating this one, not to give anything away, I'm hoping for another entry in this series. So, once again, Insomniac, you did fantastic. You gave Spider-Man the true sequel, and PlayStation, you couldn't have impressed me any more, giving us a game that's another reason to own a PS5, being that, of course, this is a PS5 exclusive. So, way to go there, Tiger. And the number one best game of 2023 is Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Yes, I gave a rather premature review on this one, and I think I've said plenty enough, especially considering that was before I actually beat the game all the way through. But yes, if you loved Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, whether it was on Nintendo Switch or Wii U, well, you will definitely love this one. Even though, of course, this is a Switch exclusive. But yes, it gives us the necessary follow-up sequel with a lot of familiar elements from the previous game, the same map, but with a lot of new things added in. Like, most importantly, being able to build and put stuff together. Yeah, this opened up so many opportunities, and it took a little getting used to, but man, when you do it, it plays a part in this game so well. Yes, you got the different boss fights in each dungeon. Yes, you got the shrines, which are a little different. Some of them you have to unlock, as well as the towers. So again, familiar, but fresh and new with additions that are necessary. I mean, this is the necessary sequel that I anticipated, and I can tell Nintendo put their heart and soul into this one. I'm going to go into a little more detail and a full review on this one somewhere down the road, but all I could say is, again, if you loved Breath of the Wild, you will absolutely love this one. It's a fantastic sequel, and, well, it's the number one game that I consider the best of 2023. Nintendo Switch, you've outdone yourself yet again. Another reason to own one of these bad boys. To be able to play it at home and take it on the go. So, that's my list right there, people. Till next time, happy gaming.